staying toe-to-toe.
Absolutely. Well, we've actually done the draft slightly ahead of time because we need to get this game underway. So let's have a look at what was picked up before we go into the Halcyon Fold. Hammers Esports banned away the Lyra and Kestrel, picking up Glaive, Ringo, and Finn. And on the side of Gankstars, they took Adagio and Koshka off the board, picking up Vox, Lance, and Alpha.
We've been seeing quite a bit of Alpha thus far today here on the North American
Alpha
side.
strong.
Absolutely, but that Ringo Glaive, that's going to be a tough one to deal with.
It really is. I think I have to give advantage over to Hammers just looking at this, but Gangstar's definitely a very strong composition.
I'm also very happy to see on the side of Gankstars Xenotech on something other than just the Kestrel or the Samuel. That's been one of my biggest criticisms of Xenotech in the jungle, is that his hero pool may be a little bit in question. So pulling out something else already on day one, very good sign for Gankstars.
Yeah. All right, so you say advantage one way or the other. That doesn't matter. I want to know who you think's going to win.
I think Hammers take this.
I think this Hammers roster is going to be one of the surprises of this season, and I think they're going to do very, very well, easily in the top 3 for me.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to breaking down for you guys the rosters once we're actually waiting for the next game to kick off. Right now, we're actually loading onto the Fold already, so we don't quite have time to do it. It is going to be an awesome game, though. As I said, this is Hammers and Gankstars, 2 of the homegrown organizations who have been around the scene for a very long time. They have picked up new organizations, but of course, you mentioned Xenotech, also Iraqi Zoro. Those are 2 people I really want to talk about, right? Because Iraqi Zoro is coming back to the North American scene after being in Europe for quite some time now.
Yeah, it's really nice to have Iraqi back. I think he was one of those top laners that made EU look pretty good. We tease Jackson wherever we can, but it's really nice to have him back. I think Gankstars are very happy, and of course, yeah, Wrecked and company as well.
All right, well, let's head on to the Halcyon Fold for Game 1 of this series between Hammers and Gankstars, passing it on over to Dalsey and Forecourt Jester.
Well, Dowsy, we're coming into it. It's going to be a good time. Welcome back, Iraqi Zoro. I'll give him that. He had some fun times in EU, but it's always good to be back on home soil, bro.
Definitely is, as I unmute my microphone for this game. I'm super excited to see how Gankstars and Hammers Velocity face up. Like AJ was saying, this is the 2 homegrown Vainglory organizations, and we do have Iraqi Zoro back for Gankstars, so things are expected to be lit.
All right, so one thing that I just got to get off my chest as we have a pause. That's cool. I'm a big fan of Xenotech. I'm a big fan of Gankstars overall. I think what they've done and how they've grown is fantastic. And Xenotech, one of the most popular streamers we got out there, the Graveyard Shift, his Graveyard community, they're out here in droves. They're really going to be supporting this guy. But he's on Alpha, Dowsy. I am worried because the track record of Alpha today is just abysmal.
Yeah, no, it has been fairly poor so far. Teams just not quite being able to get into the action, set things up. However, like you said, Wrecked is on his lance. He is one of the best Wrecked lancers in North America. So if anyone is going to be able to set up a fight for Xenotech to be able to then get in and do the damage to the carry starting all over, then that is probably your best chance of making Alpha work here.
Now, on the flip side, Hammers, they've kind of lost out that main roster they had for almost a whole year. Actually, might have even been a little bit more than that. If you heard Hammers, you thought about things like Dienzio, like Aloha, like Veins, but that is now a different roster. So coming in, there's some really big shoes to fill here, I feel. But starting all over is one of those all-star laners that you can't take your eyes off.
Isn't it crazy that Hammers had Dienzio, this 13-year-old superstar who's just trashing on everyone, and they lose Dienzio, he goes over to Immortals, so they get starting all over. Another 13-year-old superstar who's just going to start trashing on fools. It's almost like if you're going to be the carry for Hammers, your requirement is that you must be 13 years old, but don't skip a beat on this kid. This guy is so talented at this game, and from what I've seen of him so far in, VIS Pro and stuff like that, this starting all over, as well as Chicken and Tigers, this roster is here to play.
Now, I've not personally gotten to see Tigers play. It feels like in almost a year, but sometime last year that I got to firsthand see that. But I've heard some fantastic stuff, and he's playing Glaive.
He's not having good time.
Yeah,
look at
he's
this.
getting harassed.
Xenotech is just stomping on him. He does have Chicken to come down, but so is Wrecked as well. Tiger's still going low. Quibble to provide damage, but Tigers, he's not going to be able to escape this. One more hit, and that's first blood. blood to Xenotech, and now it's starting all over. Who's possibly in trouble? Nope, they'll change on to Chicken 1, 2, 3. No Crystal Sentry to worry about, so they just need to land the damage. That will be a second kill going to Gankstars.
Getting caught is not going to be the best of starts. We'll have to see how Hammers will deal with it, but Gankstars trying to live out of the side of the jungle here. Tiger's coming down looking for at least something. Will get his Treant. Looks like Gankstars are going to be just happy with that, but starting over, he's very visible there up in lane. Kind of low on energy, but at the same time, there's not any immediate threats here.
There isn't, but great starts from Gankstars. You know, a 2-0 straight off the bat onto Xenotech, as well as Rekt, means that they can start putting a lot of pressure in the jungle. Rekt may even steal this, and he does.
Yes.
Elder Treant goes straight over to him. Can't ignore that impale. The burst from it is just too huge.
My personal opinion is that Rekt is the best, well, he's not a roam anymore, but he's the best Captain Lance that we got this side of the ocean. Perhaps even a little bit farther out into the world. There's going to be a lot of people that saying Willie kind of stole their hearts with the Lance play last World Championships. But Rekt, for me, like, this is one of our big superstar Lance players. Maybe we're actually going to see him in the limelight tonight as, you know, again, 2-0 start, a little bit of cash going their way. Can't wait to see where this game's going.
Yeah, and it's such a good pick into Ringo as well, so we're going to have to see starting all over be on point with his positioning. Probably purchase a reflex block very early on to try and avoid getting locked down, because if he does get locked down, Araki Zoro is going to be able to get up into his face, start laying down some damage. Xenotech, of course, is going to jump on in with that Prime Directive. They're looking for it here. Rekt does miss out the Impale, starting all over, able to just dodge that one out. But when one of those hits, and everyone from Gankstars Sirius is ready for a fight, then the burst is going to be unreal.
Now, I'm really hoping that Xenotech is going to take the items that he's bought and he's going to go into an Aftershock. Today, it's only been Shatterglass, but as he takes down that Treant and a little bit harass, I'm really just hoping that we see that Aftershock. That means that Araki Zoro is going to be completing through this weapon. If we go into the double crystal, I fear for their chances just a little bit. Doing that up against somebody like Chicken 1, 2, 3, who can just give his teammates that fortified health, that extra armor, that extra shield through his polite company, and that's a tall order. So I really want to see him go into that weapon and finish it out. And we're just going to have to see if the farm will prove us right in those regards.
Yeah, absolutely. But a bit of a lead for Araki Zoro in the lane already. The pressure has been thereabouts to try and get him a lead. It's not too much as starting all over comes back.
There we go.
Clears out that wave that Chicken was holding. But I think there's been a lot of criticism for Araki Zoro. He's stepped back onto the Gangstar Sirius lineup here, moved over back from EU to NA. You know, there's plenty of memes about that in general, but he's replacing old school, and that's huge boots to fill.
Yeah,
Bit of a
old
fight
school.
though. Chicken 1, 2, 3. It's Araki Zoro that's in trouble, and Tiger's gonna knock him into the battle. Araki Zoro doing his best to escape. Sonic zooms away, but starting all over still trying to find the damage. Xenotech will look for starting all over. That
Whoa.
Prime Directive gonna take him out, but starting all over was able to find Xenotech in the process. Now it's a race to find the damage. Xenotech going low, but he has that Reproof protocol. Tiger's is 6, so he's doing a bit of extra damage here. Has a bit more stats to his name, but it doesn't matter because Xenotech is just sustaining it all. Looking for the damage. Prime Directive onto
Got him.
Tigers. Hits, and the Impale as well. Impressive stuff from Gangstar Sirius. Will they go for more is the question. Probably not, as this Crystal Sentry has spawned, starting to do a bit of damage. But Gangstar Sirius, man, these guys are just not giving up the pressure. They're still looking for Chicken Tea. Oh no, starting all over. He stepped in the wrong position, and he's just going to insta-go back to base. He only just spawned.
Yeah, he came down on a very weird angle on that one. I don't think he expected to find Araki Zoro there in that bush, but as soon as the vision went down, you saw Rekt, he got that impale. Xenotech just doing work there as well, and that's all of a sudden 5-1.
5-1, 1,000 gold to Gankstars. And Hammer's Velocity, this new Hammer's Velocity roster, starting to slip. They were definitely played well in some of the earlier competitions this year, but we had a bit of a chat about it. We didn't know whether or not the results were that demanding of, you know, talking about, because some teams like to hide their results. Currently, Rekt is taking a bit of damage as Tigers found a flank. looking for the kill, but the Fountain going to keep Wrecked alive, and he impales to safety. Iraqi Zoro is actually laying down the hurt. He wants to turn the fight all by himself, and he can do it with Xenotech coming through as well. Xenotech has that termination protocol. Will he land the Prime Directive onto Chicken, who's going so low? No, he doesn't even need to. Xenotech has the kill. Tiger's the 4 as well, and they're going on to starting all over. This is going to be a clean, not quite clean. It will be an ace, though, for Gankstars Serious.
Picking out that ace is going to be monumental amounts of momentum that these guys can capitalize on. And we did actually see that aftershock. We bought it mid-fight in the previous fight there from Xenotech. That percentage damage goes a long way when you can apply it over and over again.
Yeah, that minion buff and the damage will mean first turret goes the way of Gangstar Serious as well. Building up a substantial gold lead here. Xenotech looking to steal jungle creeps away, and he'll be able to. That treant goes to him, and he's able to get away as well. Now Crucible purchased up for Wrecked, so they'll be able to block out the Forced Accord all across the team. And for Hammer's Velocity, they're struggling to find an in back into this game.
Well, when you're down 8-2 and 2,000 gold, it's understandable. You're going to have to just look for an engage with Chicken. Like, if Chicken can set yourself up, you might have a chance.
Yep, absolutely. A godlike pool for Chicken to try and beat out Wrecked's Crucible here. At the moment, Xenotech starting up the gold miner. We'll have Iraqi Zoro to come and protect, and Wrecked is just positioning so far up, making sure that no one from Hammer's Velocity can even contest this gold mine. Another intense payout, 8,000 gold. It's almost a 4,000 gold lead now for Gankstars Serious. And Hammer's Velocity, they've kind of just been relegated to trying to freeze this lane underneath their turret and allow starting all over to start getting some gold onto his Ringo.
So once more, I'm looking at Iraqi Zoro, and he's just so far ahead here in gold. His last hits are starting to really take over, starting all over. And he's actually into, again, Soroblade. Not a lot of the double monocle rushing going on this round. And again, I do believe that they feel like they're that far ahead. 8-2, the fights have been in their favor, and like we just finally got T-Tigers picking up that aftershock, right? There hasn't been a lot of counter threat, so if they can just do this initial burst, game's over, like, just before it begins.
Also, you know, it also makes up for the fact if T-Tigers was to knock Iraqi Zoro into the middle of the fight, and he was to be blown up instantly, whatever damage he laid down would probably be better than the double crit build. So I'm liking the adaptation here, adapting to what his opponents are throwing at him. But at 10 minutes now, Hammer's Velocity aren't wanting to take a fight. They're doing their best to avoid action as much as possible. Perhaps baiting in Wrecked, who wants to get onto starting all over. Good positioning, though, from the Ringo. Will not be in trouble. Tigers, however, fighting Xenotech. No Crystal Miner either. The Sentry hasn't spawned, so they won't be able to stop him. And the Impale coming through. Tigers taking damage. Chicken now going to be turned on. This Finn's tanky, but starting all over. He's not in the greatest position. Able to dodge away from the Prime Directive. So Hammer's Velocity just about able to escape as the Crystal Sentry comes back to the fold.
I wasn't really too sure who was baiting in who there, but a lot of boots and chase looking for the kill on top of T-Tigers. It was a very fragmented fight from Velocity. You know, Hammer's up in lane, like starting over, was just farming. T-Tigers running for his life. Chicken doing an immense amount of work to keep Tigers up, but like even the regroup just really wasn't there.
Yeah, and they're looking for another fight here as T-Tiger's going to go into the backline. Xenotech's going to blow up on starting all over. So much damage onto this Ringo, and Tigers is already dead. Nowhere for starting all over to run or hide. He's trying to turn the kill onto Iraqi Zoro, but it's going to be a double for the man, the Gankstars founder himself. And now for Gankstars Serious, they're just going to march it down lane and look for their second turret.
So again, fragmented team fights. Chicken nowhere near his carries. T-Tiger's getting juggled like very harshly. And now Chicken, like in this 1v3 situation, there's no way he's keeping this turret up.
Good 3-man pool, and that will give the time for Tigers to come in and help defend it up. Wrecked didn't have Crucible up, so wasn't able to be blocked in that way. In fact, no one had a reflex block available to be used. So just enough to pull everyone away, but it is a hefty cooldown. 60 seconds. Now Hammer's Velocity going to have to stall out the next team fight. They want that cooldown to be up for them.
Well, that's some humble pie for me right there. Turret will stand. The reinforcements coming out of Hammer is just kind of spooking Gankstars. I don't really feel like that they were in any kind of big trouble. Yeah, it was a 3-man hook, but very little came out of that, T-Tigers had already thrown down Afterburn. We had a big opportunity to turn on him where he had no hooks from Chicken to get him out of a situation, and T-Tigers himself was going to be sitting there for 7 seconds, but all right, well, Gankstars, they're just going to play it safe. They pick up items. Look at Xeno picking out into that Broken Myth, and even more action coming through.
Yeah, they're going straight on to starting low, but Araki's been blown up. Hammer's Velocity have got the upper hand here, and they're looking to keep it up. Starting all over will go down, but as is Xenotech rebooting at this moment. T-Tigers, he's out of energy, so the fight has to stop for Hammers, and now they're looking for the retreat here. Chicken just trying to body block Xenotech, whilst Tigers gets to safety. Afterburns knocks Xenotech away, but the Prime Directive straight back onto Finn will bring Xenotech back into the fight. This Gold Miner is doing work here. They might be able to take down this Alpha. Not quite. The Crystal Sentry could get involved here, and T-Tiger's definitely going to try and stop him from getting away from the Crystal Sentry. He was able to as well. Good stuff, but it is a 2 for 2, I think, in the end, in favor. Well, it's not in favor of anyone if it's a 2 for 2.
No, there's no real big advantage either way. The Crystal Sentry both lived, same here with the Gold Miner. T-Tiger's able to clean up the kill at the end. We didn't get an ult out of Xeno. He did not explode for any damage. He gotten takedown just a little bit too quickly right there, Dowsy. So at the same time, you saw that Xeno really didn't have any choice. If he wanted to chase, he had to do the damage to Chicken, but that Aftershock doing so much work again and again and again on the Finn just wore him down.
Big item purchase there for Tigers. A Atlas Pauldron definitely going to hurt the output that Araki Zoro can put out. If he can get on top of him and lay it on down. Interesting purchase. That might be a misbuy from Chicken123. Didn't go for the War Treads. He's going for the Journey Boots instead.
It's very debatable. It's really going to come down to the fact that so far the team has not fought with him, right? Maybe he's just going to use it purely to catch up.
Very interesting. We'll have to see as Hammer's Velocity were able to secure that Gold Miner. And that's a huge chunk of gold back to them as well. Yeah, great goal. The Storm Crown obviously paying dividends, able to burst down those neutral objectives super quickly. But a bit of a stall in this game, you know, it's back to a 2,000 gold lead for Gankstars Series, but all of a sudden Hammers seem to be doing well, unless Starting All Over dies here. He dodges the Impale, but can he dodge the Prime Objective? He can, in fact. So Starting All Over is going to be alright here. He's looking to try and get back in the fight, but Rek is zoning. Chicken trying to do his best to keep the damage on him. Oh, Prime Directive lands, and Xenotech blows up the Rengo. And now the fight will go towards Gankstars here. As long as they can continue up the damage, they will. Araki finds the kill onto Finn, and now this turret shall go down. Not much you can do, T-Tigers here. 30 seconds till the Kraken spawns, so Gankstars just going to make their way back through the jungle, take out the backs, take this Crystal Sentry down once more, and then regroup around the jungle shop.
Well, T-Tigers knows that this is happening. Is he going to try to snipe out Xeno? Oh, he is.
That was lovely. Great stuff from T-Tigers. As long as he gets away with his life, that can be called worth. Afterburn the loss. Oh, wow. Araki Zoro already lined up the auto attack, able to find it. And now, 15 minutes. Here comes the Kraken. That's a 20-second cooldown on the Glaive. I wonder if Gankstars just look to burst this.
We got a monocle picked up, armor. There's the War Treads. Wow, 5. A full complement here of scout traps to go down as well. Chicken's just trying to do the reconnaissance, seeing what's happening, but you can't kind of bring him down, but Xeno can definitely start chunking him out.
They're trying to, and Chicken is getting chunked. So much damage. This guy did not stand a chance. He had the Atlas Pauldron, but it's almost like the armor didn't mean anything. Without the Finn here, Gankstars will look to start up the Kraken. However, we've seen the steals so often today. 2 so far for the Krakens, and Tigers has so much burst on that Storm Crown Glaive. So let's see if he can get in position. Currently Wrecked is stopping him from getting close. This Kraken, it's burning down as Xenotech does the work. Tigers looking for the afterburn in, but a good Giffian's Wall knocks Tigers away at the last second. Secured Kraken for Gankstars Series, and now a chance for them to breach the base of Hammer's Velocity.
So the 2-man squad of Gankstars is able to bring down Kraken, but again, Wrecked has himself the forethought to say, okay, we're in a lead. It's a 2v3. I'm down here at the item shop. Instead of helping with Kraken, He buys 5 scout traps and puts them so far out that he saw every threat coming, and he was able to intercept T-Tigers right there. It tied him up. He wasn't allowing T-Tigers to get even close to that Kraken, and that is why that Rekt is just so good on these captain roles. His just insight into what he needs to do is just absolutely insane.
Yeah, great stuff. There's Hammer's Velocity looking to try and fight around this Kraken here. They're going on to Xenotech. Rekt currently zoning. Good. Brew finds Haraki Zoro, but this choke turret is just getting melted by the Kraken. As is Chicken here, starting all over, trying to get away from this Alpha, trying to get onto his base to heal, but he can't. And that's going to be Xenotech finding the kill before he's in his reboot. Currently taking into the turret, but look at Haraki Zoro all by himself with the Kraken just taking these turrets down. That's going to be the first falling as Chicken 123 goes so low against Xenotech. Tanking up the turret, he's going to die to the turret here. But he finds the kill. In fact, he escapes. Oh, never mind. Tiger's able to find the return. It's just Tigers to save the day. But save the day, he can't just yet. Kraken doing work. Rekt doing work. Starting all over has just respawned. Maybe Hammer's Velocity can stop this from going down here. Burst the Kraken down and kill Rekt as well. Rekt knows that he has to go for the Vein Crystal here. Doing work, looking for the kill, but he's not going to be able to find it, I don't think. 2 more hits. But he falls just in time, and that's going to be Hammer's Velocity staying in this game.
Where were you, Iraqi? He's off farming the jungle. He got cold feet on that one. Rekt, they could have done that. I really think 1 or 2 autos, he could have done that. But all right, game will continue on, but a sliver of life left here into the Hammers crew. They're down a good amount of gold. They're down positioning. They don't have really much of a jungle to farm out here, Dowsy. It could be curtains for these guys fairly soon at the rate that Gankstars continues to just dominate this match.
Saving grace for them is that the Vein Crystal does respawn its health, so it will be
Slowly.
full health before the Gankstars series lineup gets back into the base. But for Hammer's Velocity, they need to force fight after fight now. They cannot afford to allow Gankstars to get into their base, or else they are threatened. The Vein Crystal being smashed here.
All right, so what's the next steps? I mean, we picked up items. We're basically full builds almost across the board here from Gankstars.
Starting all over has opted in for not going any armor. He's going for a double Monocle's Breaking Point Sora Blade on this Ringo.
Yeah, they haven't been able to shut down Xeno. Xeno and Rekt have his number.
Well, they're going to start up here. Crystal Sentry in the fight. Oh, there's the Water Core, pulls everyone in, but that's exactly where Xenotech wants to be. It's starting all over. He's feeling the pain. Not good for Hammer's Velocity. Chicken may have just spelled their doom there. Definitely no chicken winner chicken dinner here, as Gankstars are just denying Hammer's Velocity any escape. Another kill for Xenotech as Araki Zoro makes his way over to the Vein Crystal to smash it. However, he gets caught by Tiger's blown up. Xenotech gonna land that Prime Directive, and I don't think Tiger's going anywhere soon. He's gonna go down very shortly to Xenotech as he jumps over the wall. That's the ace, and that's the game. Gankstars serious, they win that fight, and perhaps that forced accord from Chicken 123 was a little too much for Hammers.
Xenotech restores my faith in Alpha as a pick. Just absolutely styled over starting all over. 2 and 8 on your Ringo, especially there in lane. That is not where you need him to be. So we'll have to see what Hammers can do game 2 to kind of correct that. Chicken 0 and 7 there as well. He was literally a punching bag for Alpha. And that Aftershock finally getting some play on this hero. They just played it out supremely well.
Yeah, great stuff from Xenotech, and as you say, a point on the board for the Alpha as well. It's time to head back to our analysts here, AJ and Humanist Tasty Bacon, to break down that first game.
And what a game to break down. Honestly, I think that was a really interesting showcase of Hammer's new lineup, especially for me. T-Tigers, we talked about it a little bit, previously, how he was formerly this laner that everyone feared, and he kind of disappeared for a while, and he came back and did some other stuff, and now he's playing like this really weird defensive build on the glaive. You mentioned to me you don't like that so much.